Hello, my loves. Hello, beautiful people. We are going to do a chit chat today. We have not done a chit chat in a minute. I think the last chit chat we did was on Euphoria. I'll make sure I tag it above. And even before that, I think the last one was an unpopular opinions chit chat. So I'll make sure I tag that one up there too. But this is another one of those. Another unpopular opinion. So don't take me don't take it too personal. This is just my personal opinion. You can have a difference in opinion, but I want to do a chit chat on behaviors that we should unlearn as adults. That's just kind of things that we do as humans that really don't benefit us at all when it comes down to trying to move forward in life. So, nonetheless, we are going to talk about it. If you are interested, just make sure you keep on watching. Alright guys, so the first topic that I want to put my opinion on is when people basically blame their parents or how they were raised for their insufficiencies now. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's kind of like if you're trying to communicate with someone and they are one to just brush it off and keep on moving, or they don't want to communicate with you, and it's like, oh, well, that's not how I was raised. Okay, that it's one thing if you're 16 and you're still trying to find yourself, or you're 18, but if you are a grown person, you cannot blame the fact that you were not raised this way, because at this point you have most likely the agency to figure it out yourself. You have the agency to be able to research or practice whatever is not beneficial to you as an adult. So I kind of feel like when people say they weren't raised for something, I wasn't raised a mathematician or whatever, but that doesn't mean I can't study math. I can't practice math. It takes practice. If there are things that are a deficit in your life and the tools weren't given to you when you were early, that doesn't mean you can't seek the tools and information now. It doesn't give you an excuse. So I kind of feel like when people say they didn't have that growing up, it's like, okay, so what? Once you're 30 years old, that doesn't matter. Once you're on your own, honestly, it kind of doesn't matter. You have to, I feel like that's a cop-out, low-key. You have to take accountability for your actions. And, and sometimes it's just you don't want to learn that skill at some point because time has passed or whatever the case may be. But it's kind of a cop-out to me. I'm sorry. Does anybody else think it's a cop-out or think it's just an excuse? Because I've already said why. So just put in the comments below if you agree. Again, just my opinion. Another behavior that I feel like people need to unlearn is keeping their emotions and things to themselves. We definitely live in a society where everything's so individualistic, and we kind of feel like we have to be able to do it by ourselves. We have to be able to have our emotions to ourselves, and we can't show weakness. We can't be out there. And so I kind of feel like we keep a lot of stuff in, and that's not necessarily a good thing. It's okay to show emotion. It's okay to talk to someone else about your problems. Now, who you talk to is a completely different animal, because we've talked about, our friends, the kind of friends there are. I'll make sure I tag it above. We've talked about that, but if you are you can talk to someone who's genuinely there for you or that you're close with. I think that's okay to not carry the burden by yourself, to keep it in, because that causes more emotional strain and problems that I feel like really could just have been avoided from jump if I'm being honest. So definitely an unlearned behavior is keeping things to yourself. There's no point. And if you are to keep it to yourself, put it in a journal or something like that, where you can kind of go back and then self-soothe yourself, or you can talk to yourself or see where you were in that moment. But just keeping things to yourself, I don't feel like that's necessary in this day and age. It shouldn't even be a thing. So this one actually goes with the last one of just the society has been so individualistic. It's almost like society condemns us for being collective. Like you have to be independent. You have to do this all by yourself. You can't do this with someone else, or it makes you look weak. So this next this unpopular opinion kind of just adds to that. When you are in a relationship with someone, or if you are part of a team of any kind of sorts, you're not weak for being part of the team. Like, it's okay if you are not doing everything by yourself. Like, a team is supposed to be splitting up the roles. You're not supposed to do it by yourself. Even if it's like I said, in a team aspect, think about like artists, music artists. At first, they start out when they are small. They're the ones that are advertising their music. They're making the music. They are producing the music, all those things. But as they get bigger and more is expected of them as they move up, they hire someone to publicize them. They hire someone to produce some of their music or find the beats or whatever the case may be. They are literally just the talent because that is their role. And I feel like nowadays, it's so wrong to just be put in a role. And I don't get it. Like, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, what's wrong with having a role or doing what you're good at, and then the other person picking up the other? And like, that's the team aspect. But no, we have to be individualized. We have to do everything by ourselves. And that gets overwhelming. And honestly, that just puts you by yourself. Like, you will not get any further or, you know, persevere with anyone if you are gung-ho on doing it alone. Am I making sense? Because, like, I don't know. I feel like it's such a thing that social media is pushing, especially. And what's wrong with being a team? What's wrong with having people help you so that you don't take on the full load, you know? Because then you develop, at least for women, we develop that super women complex that we have also talked about, because I talk a lot. But yeah, you develop just an overwhelming feeling when you can just do it as a team. You don't have to do it by yourself. Y'all need to get that behavior out of your head, personally. I mean, personally. This next one is gonna sound so insensitive. Oh my gosh. So another behavior that needs to be unlearned. Kind of just always having the negative outlook that like bad things always happen to me. I personally don't feel like that's helpful. I'm not saying that bad things don't happen to people. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel like, to a certain extent, when you put yourself in that mindset, it continues to manifest in your everyday life. Those are things that you are going to focus on. Those are things that are going to approach you because that is all you're exuding. And like whatever your aura or whatever you want to call it, whatever is showing, that's what's going to be attracted to you to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like when it comes down to people being negative, why are you surprised when more negative things are coming to you if you're being negative? So I feel like that's a behavior that really a lot of people need to unlearn. I don't want to be negative, because if I'm negative, it's a guarantee that more negative things are going to come to me and I'm going to recognize them as negative. And I personally rather feel things that are positive, even if it's in a negative situation, because that's what help gets me through. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't listen to this one. Maybe it isn't an unlearned behavior and I'm just crazy. Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed that highly opinionated chit chat video. Yeah. Don't come for me. These are just my personal opinions, and maybe you agreed, maybe you didn't. If you don't agree, put down in the comments below so I can kind of, just see. I want to have conversation. I like to talk, obviously, but I like having conversations and hearing other people's side, even when it is different from mine. So be a part of the conversation. Anyways, guys, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.